Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Is a designated Veterans Month. So what I'd like to do is start the program with a big round of applause for all the veterans in our club. Well, it's only fitting then that our program is about helping veterans, our local veterans. And this work of the speakers organization, Growing Veterans, addresses three of Rotary International's areas of focus. And those are promoting peace, supporting education, and growing local economies. Sean Dalgren is the executive director of Growing Veterans, and it's based in Linden, Washington. You may have seen their big sign, Growing Veterans, on the side of the barn on the west side of Guide Meridian as you're driving up to or back from Linden. Sean served in the United States Air Force from 2005 to 2009 as a Security Forces Airman. He deployed in Iraq in 2005, 2007, and Kuwait in 2008. After being honorably discharged from active duty service, Sean completed a Bachelor's of Arts in Human Services at Western. Growing Veterans is providing Sean the opportunity to share his passion for sustainable agriculture and veteran advocacy. Sean also worked coincidentally at Max Higby Center for 2.5 years after college. A very giving person for sure. Sean, welcome to the Rotary Club of Bellingham, and you have the floor.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here amongst such distinguished members. And thank you, Paul, for reaching out to us. I had the pleasure of showing him around the farm a few weeks ago. Just a quick sound check. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. Without further ado, I would like to just show a quick video, and then I would like to get into my presentation. So let me share this with you.
We were warriors once. Brothers and sisters who fought, ate, and slept side by side. We fought for our nation, for our families, for our freedom. But contracts ended. Planes carried us apart, and we came back home. But not back. Not all the way. Too much was left behind. We tried to find it again, that thing we'd lost. Some of us chose isolation. Some of us chose alcohol. Some of us chose death. And some of us chose to create another choice. We chose to trade our guns for garden tools, to plant seeds instead of bullets. We chose to change our relationship with death, destruction, and war, and bring forth life, nature, and peace. A peace that fills our stomachs and heals our hearts. Down in the dirt, we dig new roots, side by side with brothers and sisters who know you never really stop being a warrior. Our hands turn brown, the crops grow high, laughter carries across the field, and tears fall like springtime rain. Welcome, nurturing, and accepted. With each season, we are learning. We are healing. We are growing veterans.
All right. That was a little video that was done by a really awesome lady that came out and got involved with us a few years back. What you're seeing in those videos, in that video, is our Starboard Road location. We no longer lease that location, but so we're back up in Whatcom County at our Linden farm. And I'm going to bring up a quick PowerPoint presentation for you all. All right. So a little bit about the organization. We're a 501c3 nonprofit that was started in 2012 by Chris Brown. He's a Marine Corps veteran and Purple Heart recipient. He's also a really good friend of mine. We went through the same program at Western Washington University, where he developed this program. He also worked very closely with a civilian named and mental health practitioner named Christina Wolf. And together they developed Growing Veterans with 3 pillars in mind, with the mission to empower military veterans to grow food, communities, and each other. And that's really important because each one builds off of each other. The food is what I refer to as a catalyst for the other two to be able to be successful. Just some quick facts for you all. In Washington State, veterans are 8% of the population, but account for a staggering 23% of the suicides. Our nation also faces alarming rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and other comorbid effects of our broken food system. So essentially what our mission is to provide a location, a physical location for veterans in the community to come together and work towards a common goal that builds stronger support systems, that allows for opportunities for professional development under the umbrella of sustainable agriculture. And ultimately our goal is to create a culture of peer support. And what that means is, for an average day out at the farm, someone comes out to the farm, a new veteran or somebody or a non-veteran that wants to come out and volunteer. What we'll do is we'll envelop them in the day's process, whether that's planting, seeding, weeding, what have you, harvesting, and we will leave the space open for conversations. And essentially what that is, and pardon the pun, is an organic opportunity for people to break down barriers, break down stigma, and have real conversations about mental health, or just have an opportunity to connect with somebody. Because ultimately our goal is to create a community, create a sense of camaraderie, and create a sense of belonging that has historically been lacking upon separation from active duty service. I know from my own personal experience, when I got out of the military, I coped with PTSD and the experiences that I had in war in very unhealthy ways, to say the least. And what I couldn't put my finger on is this sense of this big gaping wound in my chest. I could just feel it day to day. And I didn't know what was missing until I connected with Growing Veterans and I started hanging out with veterans again and non-veterans as well. And understanding that trauma is relative, that we all are very similar regardless of our experiences, and that we all have something to continue to fight and serve for. So why sustainable agriculture? For us, the importance of sustainable agriculture outside of just eating healthy is the physical input. You know, for me, the biggest thing, the hardest thing for me, dealing with nightmares and PTSD, was being able to sleep at night. And so for me to be able to go out and physically exhaust myself in the fields was a tremendous benefit, as well as actually physically digging into the earth and interacting with the beneficial bacteria that actually live inside the soil. Those things can release serotonin and can be tremendously beneficial to your mental health. They can reduce depression. They can help with a myriad of different things. So GV addresses many issues, and ultimately we provide one solution under our umbrella, and that is to abolish isolation, loss of community, and unhealthy habits. These are funneled through our process of care farming, or what we call dirt therapy. And we wrap our veterans in community support, sustainable farming and local food systems, military veteran leadership, and a culture of peer support. And while all that sounds really nice, the breakdown of it is our mission is to save lives. Our vision is to save lives. If we're able to save one life, we were successful. And I've had many stories, anecdotal evidence over the years from veterans that said that before they found us, they had a gun in their hand and they were ready to take their own lives. And because of the connection and camaraderie that they found through our organization, they had a new purpose, and they were able to go and take that and show other veterans, whether it was their friends or people that they've interacted with over the years, and show them that there is still life after service. I refer to Growing Veterans as a 3-pillared organization. Growing food, under the growing food category, we obviously have our farm site. We have an organic certified farm in Linden, Washington, 3 acres where we grow a lot of your standard row crops, anything from lettuce to carrots, beets, so on and so forth. We partner with local businesses to produce value added items, whether it's our Fire in the Hole hot sauce or our hops being utilized in with Aslan Brewery to produce our Charlie Foxtrot IPA. Also, we provide agricultural workshops, whether it's showing you how to access how to hive bees, how to plant, how to seed, how to do, you know, anything under the umbrella of organic agriculture. We are also a VA work study site, an approved VA work study site, and Veteran Conservation Corps internship site. So that means that any veterans enrolled in 3/4 time or more in a VA approved degree plan at one of the local colleges, whether it's Western, Whatcom, or BTC, can come out and get a part-time non-taxed income while they're going to school on top of their GI Bill benefit. So it's a really good way to get veterans to come out to the farm, learn a valuable skill, connect with veterans and the community, and also make a little extra money on the side. So community, growing our community, a big part of growing community since the advent of COVID-19, we've had to shift our mission significantly to be able to meet the needs of the community. And what we decided to do, historically, we've sold all of our produce to markets, whether it was Semiyama Resort or we went down to the VA hospital in Seattle and sold it to the VA you know, doctors and nursing staff, and gave a bunch of food away to the veterans that were actually going through services there. But this year we donated over 4,000 pounds of organic produce to the Bellingham Food Bank because the need has been so high, and we just decided that that made the most sense as far as an outlet. So, and then the growing each other aspect of what we do, we want to produce a culture of peer support. And what we mean by that is a place where veterans can feel comfortable and the community can feel comfortable, because what is an important distinction about our organization is that while we are a veterans organization, we are not a veterans club. We serve the community, and we want to create this culture of peer support by involving everyone around, because nothing of any value gets done in an echo chamber. The informal dirt therapy portion of what we do is your day-to-day operations on the farm, and anything that falls under the guides of weeding, seeding, planting, learning how to access our bees, harvesting honey, and all the things under that guideline. Our formal peer support training is actually an accredited peer support training that we offer, that we've adapted since COVID-19 to be done online. And what that is 20 hours of continuing education credits for any mental health practitioner. And it's also an extremely important training for all of our staff and interns. So that way they are able to meet people where they're at, navigate difficult conversations with individuals who may have experienced trauma. I've been through this training 5 times, and I use it in every aspect of my life. Essentially what it does is it equips you with the tools necessary to be able to be a peer supporter, meet someone where they're at, and like I said, navigate situations with somebody. Our goal is not to be a counselor. Our goal is to meet them where they're at and support them. Just a breakdown of our board and current structure. There's only 3-time full staff. It's myself, Angela Sullivan, and Tonali Gruder. We rely very heavily on our interns and work studies to carry out a lot of the day-to-day operations. Our board is a mix of veterans and non-veterans who are all, you know, professionals in their career, and bring a lot to the table as far as that's concerned. Financials, just basic numbers. Unfortunately, and this will be very evident to you when I go to the next slide, is that we're a little upside down this year. We've lost roughly 45% of individual donorship and 50% of business donorship due to COVID-19. This has been really difficult for us, but we have managed to take grassroots funding and really run with it. Last month, we had a $30,000 campaign that we were able to exceed our goals for. We had a fundraiser that was socially distanced, at the Blue Fox Drive-In. It was called our Veteran Variety Show. It was a pre-taped variety show with a movie that was shown, and then we had veteran vendors from Whidbey Island come out and sell their wares, and they gave us a portion of the proceeds that they made as well. So that was a hugely successful campaign, and we're looking to continue to do those. This is the flip side. Obviously, you see the difference, which is unfortunate, but it is kind of par for the course right now. Just a quick peer support stats. We've trained 126 people through our accredited peer support training. 50% of those were veterans. 90% of the participants take those skills and have actually used them in their day-to-day lives. And all of them have increased ability to connect with veterans and others in their life. Like I said, I use this peer support training, navigating conversations on a regular basis with anybody that I interact with. Here's some testimonials. Just some quick stats for all of you. We've trained 21 peer supporters just this year. 35% female veterans, 54%, 35% female veterans, 54% of were females, 10% POC, 13% mental health counselors, and 40% work at veteran service organizations, which is really important because they're taking those skills and they're utilizing them with the veteran community, which is very important to us. We managed to log 3,400 veteran internships hours, regardless of COVID-19, 960 volunteer hours and counting, continuing to increase. We donated over 4,000 pounds of food, and we produced a record hot sauce year with our hoop house. We had jalapenos and garlic and all that good stuff, and it did really well. Hop sales, we produced three different beers, 2 with Aslan and 1 with Terramar Brewstillery out of Skagit County. No hop left behind is what they called it. It's really cool. And that concludes my presentation.
Well, Sean, before we open it up to questions and answers, we have a little surprise for you today. And this is based on your hard work and extensive touching you've done with your clients there out at the farm. We're pleased to present to you a $1,000 service grant award to be used for the geotextile weed suppression fabric that will be used in your fields to aid organic weed suppression and increase crop yields. And then utilizing this fabric, your organization will be able to be better positioned to provide peer support and connect with veterans and volunteers without spending an exorbitant amount of time weeding. With this purchase, you'll also be able to cover all crop rows in both of your farm sites. So congratulations on the grant.
Thank you, sir. I am so grateful. And thank you all you awesome Rotarians. This has been such a fantastic opportunity for me. Your level of I feel it. I can feel it coming from you. I'm at a loss for words. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So questions for Sean. John, I see your lips moving. Did you mean to be talking to us? John Dunn?
Paul?
Unfortunately, I was talking to my wife.
Oh,
She and I have jointly applied for a service grant also. We were kind of discussing the odds.
all right. Okay, Steve, I think you had started to ask a question.
Yeah, Sean, it's a wonderful presentation. I knew nothing about this program, and it's incredibly important. I guess one question I'd have is in a sector of society and a group where alcoholism is such a big problem, the idea of growing hops and making beer, I'm kind of wondering about the fruitfulness or the benefit of that. Maybe you could speak to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the big things, and we have crossed this, we've come to this and over time, and we had to dig deep and really discuss whether or not we felt comfortable moving forward with a hops operation. But what we found is that by not adding the hops to our list of produce, we're pushing away a large swath of veterans that are very, very excited about being involved with something like that. And I think that ultimately, while hops can be used in beer, they're used in a myriad of other ways. They have a lot of beneficial, whether it's aromatherapy, because historically hops have been used as pillows for people that experience insomnia. They can be put in tea as well. So there's a lot of other uses for the hops outside of the beer. But for us personally, the ability to grow hops is something that, it took careful consideration. And I understand your line of questioning in regards to that, with alcohol being such a huge factor in the veteran community. It really, what it boils down to is it's just an opportunity for people to learn how to grow something, whether or not we decide to utilize it in a beer or our tea or so on and so forth. I feel like the ability to just grow something outweighs the possible negative, parameters that could be put on it. I hope that answers your question. I think ultimately what we wanted to do is, since there was such a high volume of people that were interested in doing it, we wanted to make sure that we were not pushing those folks away, to be and also meeting their needs as well.
Thank you. As long as the growers don't get free samples along the way, once it's beer, I suppose that would be fine. Thank you.
Other questions for Sean?
Maybe Sean, this is Catherine, and I was wondering, I came in late, and so I didn't get to hear, are you related at all to a similar operation in Skagit?
We used to have, the video that we showed earlier, and I alluded to slightly, was that we did have a branch of our organization located in Starboard Road in Skagit County.
Yeah.
We were hoping to purchase that property, but because of the cost of leasing it, we were unfortunately had to back out of that situation just for the cost of it. It was becoming too expensive. So we had to unfortunately relinquish that position. It was a beautiful 48-acre farm right in prime real estate. It was a cattle farm for many, many years, and food grew wild out there. Big, giant heads of lettuce, everything. It was beautiful. And unfortunately, we don't have it anymore, but that's okay, because we have two locations currently. We have one in Greenbank Farm, right in the center of the most population dense veteran community in the state, out on Whidbey Island. So we're able to access that community to include active duty veterans that are transitioning from military, from active duty military. And then we're in Linden, which gives us access to a very veteran dense population as well. And that's where we started out. And it feels really good to be back home.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. Thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Other
Sean, I have a
questions?
question. Since we brought a lot of our troops home from Iraq and Afghanistan, are you getting the same number of people that need the kind of PTSD support that you used to, or where are the veterans coming from?
Well, to answer your question, so we're very well connected with the local veteran service offices in all of the in all of the local colleges, and there's a large influx of OIF, OEF veterans that are utilizing GI Bill benefits in those locations. So I go to their office, connect with their veteran service officers, and show them that we exist, show them that we have opportunities for internships, and then opportunities for part-time work and so on and so forth. So we do have access to a large volume of these veterans. And to answer your question specifically regarding PTSD, yes, we get all sorts, and we have anyone from Vietnam, Korea, down to someone who just got out. And our goal and our mission is to show them that there is a way. And we show them because a lot of our staff, myself included, have had to walk that lonely, path of finding services, navigating the bureaucratic systems, and all of the things that turn veterans away from help. We're able to show them, yes, you deserve this. Here's where you get it. Cut through the red tape. you know, we'll send you off to Lynn Graham at the vet center, or Chris Brown for counseling at the vet center, or we'll send you off to Liz Harmon Craig down at the county veteran advocacy and show you how to get plugged in, because we physically have walked that walk. So that's something that's very dear to me. I hear people all the time saying, I don't deserve this and I don't need this. And I say, that's BS. I make them, I don't make them, but I show them by example. And that's ultimately all you can do, is lead by example and hope they will take that, take that lead in their own lives.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So
Sean, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to ask a question for somebody. I think it was Tom in the chat was saying, where's your hot sauce available? So I wonder.
Absolutely. So right now, shipping on hot sauce puts us at a net negative. It actually costs us more to ship it than it does anything. But I have boxes and boxes and boxes of fresh, beautiful green hot sauce at our location. And if anybody wants some, I'd be more than happy to meet you somewhere and drop it off. Or if you'd like to come out the farm, I'd be more than happy to give you a tour of what we do and send you home with some hot sauce.
Great,
How
thank-
hot is that hot sauce?
It's got a bite to it. It's got our serranos and jalapenos, our garlic, and our honey in it. So all of the ingredients, minus just the vinegar, I think, that's used as a base, is grown by veterans and the community. And we partner with, like I said, Erin at El Fuego. She's a local hot sauce producer, and she does amazing work. And yeah, it's hot. It definitely has a bite to it, but I use it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. If you're a hot sauce junkie, this should be on your list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean,
Always dilute it.
Sean, I had a question. I mean, you had made a mention that the veterans could make a little money, and I wasn't quite clear if that came from their work on the farm or from some other way.
Yes, sir. So specifically regarding the VA work study position, what that is so a veteran utilizing GI Bill benefits that they earn through their active duty service and honorable discharge while going to school at one of the local colleges utilizing a VA approved degree plan can actually apply for VA work study and will pretty much get it guaranteed. And what we are, since historically they've been able to do that at the schools, that's what I did the whole time I was going through college. I worked in the veterans office helping veterans get enrolled in education and all that good stuff. But now they're able to come out to our farm, because we are an approved work site, do get the same pay, but have a completely different experience than maybe like the administrative side at the schools. So they come out, we show them how to learn basic skills, whether it's seeds, weeds, all of the things that fall under the umbrella of organic agriculture. And, we build them up. We show them how to speak in front of people and do tabling events, and how to carry themselves and utilize the skills that they've learned in the military, parlay that into constructive skills that you can use in the workplace, and show them that there is service after service. And it's a part-time job. I think it's like $12.50 an hour, 25 hours a week, 50 hours per paycheck throughout the term of their when they're in school.
Yeah, Sean, I had the impression that there were a lot of other veterans who are working on the farm, and I assume from what you're saying that those veterans actually don't get paid.
It depends. If they're a volunteer, so we have Veteran Work Study, Veteran Conservation Corps, which is another aspect of the VA that you do receive a stipend. That's a monthly stipend. I believe that's $1,800 a month. We've got one full-time Veteran Conservation Corps intern right now, and 3 VA work studies. And then the majority of people that come out the farm are actually just what we refer to as volunteers, whether they're veterans or they're somebody from the community or a small business, so on and so forth. But ultimately what we do is we involve them in the same process that everyone else is involved in, and create these opportunities, whether it is for job opportunities, because we do work with local business very frequently, and it creates lots of opportunities for veterans to get jobs in other careers outside of just agriculture. So we're very well connected with a lot of local businesses. The avenues for moving on and moving up are undeniable.
That's great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So Sean, I
Last question.
help you with your your shipping problem, I would like to purchase 1 bottle of hot sauce for every person who rings bells for the Salvation Army in Rotary. So I'll have to get your address and come up and pick up some.
Yes, sir. We'd love to have you. And I'll show you around too. I'll show you what we do.
That'd be super. Thank you.
Of course.
Sandy just got out the email just to follow up on Tucker's game plan there. I'd like to thank you, Sean, for an excellent program. Paul, for bringing the program. I need to bring this meeting, the 4672nd meeting, to an end, thanking the people that made it possible. Sandy, first and foremost. And I greeted people. Our video, as always, it was excellently handled by Rick. Big thanks to Doug Cole and Bob Thomas, taking care of moving the stuff. Steve Bann for his report on the blood bank. Kirsten as Minister of Fun. John Harris for putting together the America the Beautiful deal. Mike Plankovic for a really outstanding invocation. And whoever else I've forgotten. Peter for his book report. And all of you for being Rotarians and for all you do in the community. I will leave the site up in case Rotarians want to stay on and communicate with each other. But we are at 1:30. It's 2:30 here. I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Look forward to seeing you next week. And we are adjourned.